understand that you are enough, just as you are. Those simple words can be so crucial, and so I just feel like I need to reiterate, especially to myself, that you are enough just as you are.
Some tears, some stress, but I count my blessings.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be one that I felt like needed to be shared because not only is it personal for what I am currently going through, but I really do believe that it can be beneficial and helpful to others. And I'm always using kind of my life stories into developing to show and share with others, because I think about my younger self and just past self, even if it was like a month ago, and what I would have loved to hear and know during that time. And that is why I love to just come on here and share. So without further ado, let's just get into today's video. So I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about knowing that even if you're in a deep healing journey, to not constantly be feeling this void of like self-improvement. And so to get a little personal and share just where I've been in life, I went on a healing journey about 3 years ago, so 2020, fresh pandemic time, because during that time I went through a really bad breakup, and then I joined the military and I was shipped off, it felt like, across the country to California. And not only did I not know anyone or have any family here, and was going through a breakup, I now was faced with the pandemic. And that was something I never experienced. I mean, I was walking into new chapters that was all so much for me at one time, things that I had never experienced, never knew, but now I was faced with them. And so I had no choice, I felt like, but to really surrender into this isolation I felt like I was in, and to heal, to seek what was, the things I was going through that led me to react a lot of the ways that I did, and ultimately just heal. So I went through therapy. I found a lot of different ways to deal with my inner child and the trauma that I'd experienced, and just ultimately heal, really learn how to love myself deeper and go on my own self-discovery. And while it was a journey I needed to go on, it was very deep, and it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of dark days that came with that, because it was bringing up a lot of truths that for so long I had hidden. And starting my healing journey led me to this belief that like I had to constantly be in a healing journey, especially waking as well my spiritualness. I felt like, okay, I need to be doing this, and if I'm not doing that, then I'm not achieving enough. And ultimately, while starting my healing journey has been such a massive need that I had to go through, it also at times felt like that I was just in a constant loop of healing. And so what this looked like for me was beating myself up for having fun. I thought to myself, like, no, I need to figure out the next thing to heal. I need to be working on the next thing that I need to achieve, instead of really living my life. And the truth is, there's a season where you're going to need to undergo deep healing. And that's just factual, because there are things that you need to learn and to let go of. But there's also a season of your life that you deserve to just be. You deserve to just be in the present moment, to have fun, to laugh more, and to not worry so much about your future or your past. And I believe that that is the current season that I'm in. I didn't really give myself enough credit for all the work that I've done and done well, because I was just so focused on the next thing that needed healing. But again, these beliefs of feeling like a self-improvement project started to stem, where I was missing out on the present moment and enjoying life, and really knowing and deserving, I know that I deserve good things, because I was just like, I need to focus on the next thing I need to heal. I need to focus on the next business. I need to keep going. And something that really struck this idea and awareness was that when I would like go out with friends or have good connections with people, and then I would stay up a little bit later than I normally do, and so because I stayed up later than I normally would, I would sleep in later than I normally would. And so sleeping in would then lead me to maybe not being as focused on my morning rituals as I normally would. And so then I was starting to get so hard on myself, like, why did I stay up late? now I didn't, wake up at 5 a.m. and I didn't meditate this morning. I didn't drink my water this morning. And I'll be so hard on myself because I thought that I was like not healing and improving. But the truth is, it is okay. It is more than okay to just be. And I had to remind myself, like, Ashley, how did you feel in that presence with those people? How did you feel just, doing those different things? And I realized, like, it's okay to sometimes stay up late and just be in the midst of good people, good energy, and then you wake up, maybe later than you normally would. It's okay to not always meditate every single day. I think I became so, again, focused on my self-healing and spiritual journey that I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't meditate today. The day's off. It's like, it's okay to skip a day of meditating. If you went out with your friends and you had a good time, and then maybe the next morning you just wanted to, like, really take things slow, and so you didn't meditate, that's fine. Like, I had to release a lot of these thoughts that I had concerning my self journey. Again, I was starting to formulate this opinion that if I didn't do certain things, well, I wasn't good enough. If I didn't perform a certain way, well, I'm just, revoking all of the healing that I've done. And that is just so untrue. And again, I feel like we have to realize that there's a season for deep healing, for things that are going to come up that are ugly and that we're going to have to learn how to negotiate and to deal with. But there's also a time where you're going to be in a season that's just meant to be, to enjoy, to have fun, to be careless sometimes, because it's through the mistakes we make that we learn everything we need to know to walk fully in our potential, to walk fully into where we're meant to be. So I just want to encourage anyone that maybe felt like this need to keep going, this need to constantly heal and improve, to take a moment and to understand that you are enough, just as you are. Those simple words can be so crucial. And so I just feel like I need to reiterate, especially to myself, that you are enough just as you are, and you are deserving of good things. You don't have to feel like you have to accomplish a certain amount of task or accomplish a certain level of healing to be deserving of good things. And this is kind of another belief that I had in my mind when it came to healing, was that I need to constantly be in this isolation. I didn't deserve good love around me, whether that was romantic or friendship. I constantly felt like, I need to be healing. I need to be, on this, like, self-healing journey. I can't have any fun. It's like a project. You can believe, like, I need to finish this project, so I can't have any fun. I gotta lock myself in this room and just focus on the project, to the point where you miss out on what's all around you because you're so focused on the next thing. And I had to release that and tell myself, like, no, I am deserving of good things. I don't have to accomplish a certain amount of achievements in life before I can enjoy my life. I don't have to go under all these different years and years and years of self-discovery and healing before I enjoy all the work that I've done already. I don't need to wait for a certain time to embrace good things, good people, good energies. I am allowed to embrace it right now. And I felt like I had this really kind of love and hate relationship with my healing journey, because I was beating myself up so much, thinking like, no, you can't have any fun, Ashley. You need to be focused on this next thing to heal. And the truth is, you're never going to be fully healed. There's going to be things that you thought you were over that you get triggered from. There's going to be new triggers that you didn't know you had that can come up. You're never going to be done healing, because every season you're in is a new season, right? So when you were maybe single and focusing on yourself, there were things that came up for you that took the deal. Now that you're in a relationship, it's probably so much more than you could have ever imagined that is coming up and you're dealing with, right? So you're never going to be done healing. And healing isn't linear. It's 1 minute it feels like you're on top of the world and things are going so good. The next minute you're triggered and it feels like you're brought right back to that emotional damaged place, and it can be very hard to navigate getting out of. But the truth is, you don't have to wait to enjoy your life. You deserve good things. You deserve to be careless sometimes. I gave the analogy, or this example of, for example, I gave the example of me going out with friends and then waking up later than I normally would. And I gave that because I feel like, again, you are allowed to have fun now. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to constantly be and so focus on all the good that we need to be doing. But it's like sometimes it's okay to just be careless. It's okay to just sleep in. It's okay to go out and, eat those carbs that night. It's okay to sometimes just indulge in the beauty of life and not so focus on, again, this whole self-help. Well, I need to eat this amount of food a day. I need to eat, it needs to be healthy. I need to wake up at this time. I need to meditate. I need to do yoga. I need to journal. Like, I love morning routines. Don't get me wrong. I'm a morning routine girl, full to the core. But I also am gentle with myself, because maybe I was in a season where, yes, waking up at 4 a.m., even waking up at 3 a.m. for a while was good for me. It felt nice, right? It seems bizarre to some people, like, well, you're waking up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I know. But maybe I was in a season, and I have been, that time was okay for me. It made me feel good. And so I woke up and I meditated and I did my journals and I went to, do yoga or Pilates. And then I came back home and I showered and made me this really healthy breakfast, and I spent time in nature, all of these different things, right? But then I reached a season where I was like, okay, I don't want to wake up that early anymore. Like, it's daunting for me. So I started to still wake up early to do the things that I love, but it wasn't as early. So I woke up a little bit, like 30 minutes earlier than I had to, or maybe even an hour, but instead of 4 a.m., it's now 5 a.m. And I would just take time to do 3 things that I knew would make me feel good. Instead of this long to-do list of like all the things I need to do, I would just limit it to 3 things. And usually those 3 things were meditating, because I deeply do love meditating. So it's meditating, praying, just spending time with God. If that was through prayer, if that was through listening to gospel music, if that was through reading a chapter of my devotional book, if that was going on the Bible app, etc. Just spend time with God. And then number 3 was journaling, really focusing in on 10 things at least that I'm grateful for and releasing it. And if I could do those 3 things, that was good for me. I would also sometimes add in maybe stretching, just to really release any tension. And I always did hydrate in the morning. I would always have my lemon and I always have my lemon and chlorophyll water in the morning, because it just made me feel good. But sometimes it's okay to switch things up depending on what season you are in. And most importantly, this is a reminder to just be present and to have fun. To stop being so hard on yourself, thinking that you need to achieve this amount of things at this time, thinking that you have to constantly be this self-help project. Because you have to remember that everything has to be done in moderation, no matter what it is, okay? Going to the gym. If you become an addict where like you're spending 2-3 hours in the gym daily, that would do something to your mental, right? Moderation. Okay, know what's best for you and your body, and then work accordingly to that. So for me, what feels good and what's not overextending myself is working out 3 to 4 times a week. Usually it's a yoga or Pilates class, and then having the rest, the other days out of the week. That's what works good for me. I'm not in the gym or a class for 2 hours. That's not good for me and my mental. Eating healthy. If you're constantly just consuming all of these like raw foods and like all of these different like health foods that you're constantly looking at the back of things, like it can become toxic. Again, people think, well, eating healthy is a good thing for you, and it is. It's a beautiful thing, but you should enjoy the food you're eating. Don't make it to where now it's like, oh, I gotta eat these healthy foods. It's really like, I really want a cupcake, but like I need to be focused, and now it's a toxic relationship with food. So anything I believe and know is moderation. It's so important. Do it in moderation. So that's a reminder for me as well, and just to really render in that I'm deserving of love and I am deserving of good things just as I am. And when you go on a self-healing journey, it's important to understand that I'm losing my train of thought. When you go on a self-healing journey, it's important to remember, why can I not? I just went blank. I lost my train of thought, and I hate when I do that. Oh, I figured it out. When you go on a self-healing journey, it's important to remember that this is the season where you're going to be giving yourself unconditional love. To really just love yourself for who you are. And that one is hard to really learn and master, loving yourself unconditional. Whew. I had to really have a time alone and be in the presence of, okay, how can I do this, and what it all entailed. And that entails, you know, having fun, to not always be focused on how good you look at something, how good you're doing something, to love yourself with the flaws, the imperfections, just like love yourself through it all. And so I don't know, where exactly you are in your healing journey. Like I said again, there are seasons where it's dark and it's isolation and it's really difficult. But there are also seasons where you can just embrace all that you've done. Like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I was in a season of isolation. I was in a season where, I had to do a lot of deep work to heal from the trauma that I experienced and the generation cycles and etc. But now I'm in a season where I just want to embrace life. I want to have fun. And it's crazy because I was on TikTok and this person was saying how they recently broke up with their therapist. And they're like, it may sound sad in a sense, but we knew that it was the time. Like there's a certain period where okay, like, yep, I'm doing the deep work, but this can't last forever. And she mentioned how, like, at first she was going to therapy twice a week because she just needed it so badly, but then it went from twice a week to like once a week, and then once a month, and to like even sometimes once every other month. And now, she's in a season where it's just like, yeah, there's going to be things that I'm going to constantly be healing. I'm not fully healed, but I'm not in that deep, dark season where I'm really needing therapy right now. And so she took what she learned and she moved on to the next season of her life and, ended her therapy session. And that was just like a good reminder for me as well. Like, okay, yes, there was a season in my life where I was in intense therapy. I needed a lot of help to navigate healing my wounds and life and, so much more. But now I'm in a season where it's like, I just want to enjoy life. I want to be present. I want to have fun. I want to know within me deeply that it's okay to just indulge in good things, good food. I don't have to always worry about, did I do the right thing? And another thing that I also really learned with healing is that I am trustworthy. My decisions are trustworthy. Sometimes we get so caught up in thinking like, well, if I make this decision, I can ruin my path. And it's like, no. God knows where you are meant to be, and there's nothing you can do that's going to take you off course. If anything, it's just redirecting you to where you're meant to go. And so I just trust that. I trust that my decisions are trustworthy, that I am good enough, that God sees me and accepts me just as I am. And no matter what I go through, who walks out of my life, who stays, it's just redirecting me into the direction I'm meant to go. And so, yeah, I just hope that this video resonates with someone. And to reiterate my point is that, number one, you are not a self-help improvement, a self-help project. You don't have to keep just focus on what's the next day you can heal, but instead enjoy life. Know that growth is inevitable. You're going to grow. You're going to learn everything you need to learn. You're going to get to the destination you're meant to get to. Everything's going to work out so much better than you could imagine. So enjoy it, and don't be so focused on the healing of it all. Number two, really understand that during this healing journey, it's going to take the art of mastering unconditional love. But when you do so, it is the best thing that you could give yourself. Really value exactly who you are, where you are. And lastly, to understand that your decisions are trustworthy. Believe that God is not going to fail you, and trust that everything is lining itself up for you and against you. Don't start beating yourself up saying, oh, the reason why this happened is because I didn't do this. No, it happened because it was meant to happen. There is no good or bad necessarily in life, but just lessons we're learning to become our better selves. Everything that is supposed to happen will happen. Everything that did happen was supposed to happen. It's all things that we're just learning and navigating in this thing called life. So I hope this resonates with you all. It definitely did for me, because this is literally the current season I am of just reminding myself that, Ash, it is okay to just be present. It's okay to enjoy ooh, excuse me, where you are, and not be so focused on improving. So yeah, as always, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, until next time.